Welcome to the Intentional Father Podcast, where us fathers parent our children, not by accident, but with intent. I'm your host, Aaron Stroman.
Season 3, Episode 6, Culture. Build a new family culture. One of the awesome things about being divorced is you get to create your own family culture, and it's easy. It's super easy because you're the father, you're the only adult in your house, and so you don't have to have any opposition from a spouse. Now, if this doesn't come natural to you, go back to Season 1 and Season 2 of The Intentional Father. There's some great culture builders in there. But my experience was I wanted to build some specific family cultures that was not supported by my wife, now ex-wife. And as the provider for the family, the one who was actually outside the home working, it was really hard to shape culture inside the home when there was an opposing force in there. It's in essence working against what I wanted, what my desires were for family culture. When you're the only adult, when you're divorced and the only parent in the house, that changes and it becomes so easy. But you have to be intentional about it. So how can you be an intentional father when it comes to building culture in your family? Map it out, decide what you want it to look like, and take some proactive steps. Decide what are you going to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, maybe annual basis, to build that culture. Things that I started immediately. And again, I'm not trying to talk bad, but this is just how the situation was. Okay, so when I was married, mornings were chaotic. There was always a kid crying every morning, if not both, for all sorts of reasons. They would criticize on their clothing choices. They were criticized on how their hair looked. There was brush being ripped through hair that would cause tears because it hurt. There was a big rush. Everything was like fast. We were always running behind. So I changed some culture. I brought some peace into my house. I started buying hair product, and I looked up YouTube. How can we avoid tangled hair in the morning? Shower at night. Use these conditioners. Use this spray and detangler. If you do a loose braid a certain way, it prevents tangles. Made life wonderful. Okay, we had a nighttime routine. Went to bed a little earlier. Had some family devotions. I remember we even would do the essential oil diffusers to kind of make the room smell good and peaceful. We had this nice routine. Kids got to bed. They got to bed a little earlier. We woke up a little earlier. And the night before, we had already picked out clothes that matched. So there was no debate on what are we wearing the next morning. It was all taken care of. We had time to eat breakfast. In fact, we had so much time, we had just a little bit of chill time where we could play a little bit before going to school. Everything was peaceful. Hair wasn't a problem. It brushed out easily. Again, little things building culture. So I built a house of peace. We had family devotions, built a house of faith, made sure that my kids were being exposed to the Word of God and how to apply that to their everyday life. Family dinner time. That was something when I got home from work, my kids were all typically fed, and I didn't like that. I prefer a family dinner, but their mom was feeding them before I got home. I didn't have to deal with that anymore. Now we did family dinner. Kids helped make dinner and or helped clean up dinner. Again, there's an episode on that. But what was I doing? I was building a family culture. Vacations. Now there's a new culture to it. All sorts of things. You get to build your family culture. And this is one of the great joys. If you've had opposition to that in your marriage, it's a great joy of being divorced. Now, not everyone is in my situation. If I'm going to be honest here, Many of you dads were probably the opposition to a healthy family culture. You need to own it, and you need to think through how can I be a better father? How can I create some family culture that's good for my kids? Playing video games every day after you get off work is not good family culture. Even if your kids like video games, it's not a great family culture. Maybe if your kids are into it, only if your kids are into it, maybe do that once a week. Go outside and play with your kids, right? Build some routines in life. Build something, rites of passage. Great way to build family culture. What are some weekly? What are some weekly or bi-weekly activities that build family culture? I made my kids sleep in their own bed. When they were little, did they want to sleep in daddy's bed with him? Yeah, they did. I would allow that. They would each get one night every other weekend. So it was basically like once every 2 weeks, they got one night where they were allowed to sleep in the bed with me. Because I didn't want to build bad habits, right? I'm building family culture. Again, you don't have to be the bed Nazi and be like, nope, you never sleep in the bed with the parent again. But there needs to be some healthy boundaries there, and it was appropriate. It wasn't once every 2 weeks was not creating dependency, so no worries there. Again, vacations, how we rode, even how we rode to school, how we talk, things we'd converse about. That's all building culture, and you get to do that. Again, if that's not your forte, and you realize, maybe I wasn't real helpful in building a good family culture, go back to the first 2 seasons of The Intentional Father, and you're going to get some great ideas, some very practical ways to lead your family and build that culture. But have fun with it. Get creative. There's so many fun things that families do. I mean, you can ask your friends how they're building their family culture, but you get a fresh start when you go through divorce. So take advantage of it. Don't let that opportunity pass you by. There's a lot of crappy things about divorce, but there's a lot of great things, and definitely capitalize on the great things. You can't dodge the crappy things. So certainly don't dodge the good things, because it is possible to do that. So don't let the good things pass you by. Create a new family culture. Even like going to church, and I adjusted what nights I had my kids during the week. So I made sure I could have them on Wednesday nights. Going to church is a part of our family culture. And on Wednesdays, kids go to youth group. As soon as they're old enough to go, I made sure I had custody of them those nights. They go to youth group on Wednesday nights, and now they go on Sunday mornings. So it's part of family culture. So build your family culture. Don't miss those opportunities. If you're not sure how to get started, and you've watched or listened to the first couple seasons of The Intentional Father, and you still need help, just reach out. Let's talk about it. We can brainstorm and come up with some ideas. I'm willing to do that for you. So let's build some good family culture. And I might even be able to learn from you. So definitely reach out, because I'm always want to improve my family culture. I think it's good, but it can definitely be better. I hope this has been an encouragement to you. Stay strong. If you're going through divorce or just been through it, your kids need you more than ever. So be there for them. God bless.